today who are every bit of, danger zone.
Danger zone.
27 to 35 when a woman needs to focus like a laser on the outcome she wants as far as relationships. But when you ask women who are in their mid to late 30s, even in their early 40s, who are boss chicks, bad chicks, got my money together, I got my master's.
I'm a PhD.
Got my master's, but can you cook?
I don't need a cookbook.
Yeah, they got their PhD and everything else. They don't have a cookbook, but they damn sure do have a dog. All right, what is the one thing you tend to hear? Some sort of, well, I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm in a waiting position. I'm waiting for, God to send that man to me. I'm holding out. So I'm gonna go num num uranga toyo maka macarena till that man comes along. Why are so many modern women holding out? What are you holding out for?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm your boy, Roy Mack. It has been officially confirmed. Podcaster, YouTuber Kevin Samuels has passed away at the age of 57. I just wanted to jump on here, man, just for a few minutes and give some of my thoughts on this. Y'all make sure y'all tap into our podcast Wednesdays, No Strings Attached, the most infamous No Strings Attached podcast. But speaking on Kevin Samuels, man, there's one thing about me. I'm consistent on saying this on the show every Wednesday night when we talk about death. I'm not someone who elevates a person to sainthood just because they passed away. I know that can be controversial to some people, but it is what it is with me, right? You don't get elevated to being a saint just because you died. If it was some real issues and there was some real animosity, then those things are there. You're gone, and that's what it is, but I don't like the fake love. With that being said, I'll say this specifically about Kevin Samuels, right? Number one, I'm not gonna shit on Kevin Samuels if that's what you're looking for. I'm one of the few people who really don't have an opinion one way or the other about Kevin Samuels, and I'll explain why. A lot of people would complain about his rhetoric, some of his advice that he would give regarding women, specifically black women in relationships and what their expectations should or shouldn't be. It's funny. Mike Tyson, boxer, former boxer, he did an interview a long time ago with a guy. It was a very angry interview, funny interview. And the dude was mad because of how Mike Tyson was talking to him. And Mike said, if you don't like how I'm talking to you, change your station, right? So I say this, for all the people that did not like Kevin Samuels' rhetoric, you didn't have to listen to it. Now I understand the argument would be, well, he was, some people might say, well, he was influencing a lot of men who were then taking that advice, right, and trying to apply that to their lives. Now, that may be true, right? But I'm speaking specifically to the women. Because there are a lot of women right now, specifically, again, black women on social media who are rejoicing. And I'll tell you what, I actually don't have a problem with that. And that may be controversial to say. I don't have a problem with them being, if they want to be happy that he's gone. Listen, we have to be very, very, very clear. For my religious people out there, one of the most common sayings is that, hey, well, God knows your heart, right? So if in your heart it was F him, and now to try to, say the right thing, you want to post something, listen, God know your heart anyway. So if you really rejoicing inside, then you just as guilty whether you said it or not. I understand how people want to be perceived on social media and on different platforms of not sounding or saying something too vulgar. Hey, listen, man, it is what it is to me personally, right? But the funny part of this whole thing is you did not have to watch Kevin Samuels if you did not want to. We have a culture now of people who do what's called hate watching. They don't like something, they don't like a person's opinion, but they watch it all the time just so they can talk about it, right? Which to me is insanity, right? But it was a lot of people, specifically again, a lot of women who did that. I'll say this about me personally, right? As a black man who's been married, been knowing my wife since we were 11, 12 years old, and I've been married now for quite some time. I'll say this about Kevin Samuels and his advice, right? I know some of my friends who agree with a lot of what he says. I know some of my friends who disagree with everything he says. And I know people who are kind of in between, right? But I'll say this. I have 3 sets of friends. I always tell people this. I have my group of friends that I grew up with elementary, junior high age till now. I have my group of friends that I met in college when I was playing ball. And then I have my group of friends that I've met post-college in my adult life, right? All of those friends are all different, right? Meaning in relationships, there's no one size fits all, right? All of us are different. Yeah, we all have similar backgrounds, but it's different strokes for different folks, as the saying goes, right? And I bring that up because, one thing people criticize Kevin about was he would say things that were very, what's what I'm looking for, were very matter of fact, right? Is the way that he would speak, in very absolutes and matter of fact, right? And I say this, we do a relationship show, as I've mentioned. We do a relationship show here on No Strings Attached every Wednesday. One thing I try to make sure we don't do is speak in absolutes, because there is no fact in relationships, right? Everything is subjective. And that's the reason I bring up my group of friends, because all of us, even though we have similar backgrounds of similar age, most of us are black males, everybody's different, right? We all have things that are different. We all attract different women. We're all attracted to different women. So I don't know if there are any absolutes, right? And one thing I'm seeing from black men, right, on social media who are reacting, they are reacting to the black women and they're saying, y'all mad at Kevin, y'all are, happy and rejoicing and celebrating Kevin Samuels' death when all he was doing was telling the truth. That's the one thing that I've always had a problem with, is when people say, hey man, well, he just telling the truth. And this is just not Kevin, this is with anybody, right? When you're speaking on relationships, listen, no one has dominion or ownership over quote unquote truth in relationships. It's subjective, right? Now, there are some things that people can agree on, right? Can have a common understanding on, but there is no factual, hey, no, that's a fact. Nah, it's not, right? Because just because you don't like that and you've met a bunch of people who don't like that, that don't mean that there aren't a lot of people out there who actually do like that, right? So there is no absolutes. If you watch our show, man, we do appreciate it. We have a very diverse panel, men, women, right? Different ages. And we all have these conversations, right? Because everybody has a different vantage point on where they come at these things from. And I don't like when people talk in absolutes and certainties and, hey, this is the way it is, because it's just not true. But with that being said, the way I got put on to Kevin Samuels was actually before he took off. This is back when he was doing cologne reviews. Some people don't even realize that if you go to his YouTube channel, go to his oldest videos, it's years of cologne reviews, right? So that's how I got put onto him. One of my homeboys like, yo, it's this guy, man. He do these dope reviews on cologne, man. All the new stuff that's coming out, he puts you on where you can get it. That's how I first heard his name, right? And then through the relationship thing, he, blew up. And listen, man, he was a hardworking dude. Once he finally got footing, right, in the YouTube and podcasting world, you cannot knock his hustle. He talked about black men too, and he did, right? But we also have to be objective and say that most of his rhetoric was to women and black women specifically, right? And that's okay too, right? I don't have a problem with any of that. I wasn't a watcher and or a listener. I was aware of the more of the controversial things that would pop up on social media from time to time. And, you know, sometimes it was just funny to me, right? I find it funny when people are outraged about things that like this. This is always funny to me because, again, going back to the Mike Tyson quote, change your channel, right? You don't have to listen to it, man. But I also believe on the other end, man, just because somebody dies, if you had a very strong and harsh opinion about them, if that's what it is, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that too. So I'll leave and I'll end it on this, man. You know, I respect the work ethic. Definitely someone who, because I'm in this YouTube and podcasting game, I see the work that he put in, how he really cultivated his audience, how his whole setup was, you know, he really put a lot into it. It was an entire image, the suits, you know what I'm saying? The whole ambiance, everything, man. Listen, he was good at what he did. His audience respected it. It is what it is, man. You know, Kanye had a quote, I forgot what song it's from, but he said, everybody feel a way about Ye, but at least y'all feel something. So it is what it is, man. Kevin Samuels, dead at 57. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. No Strings Attached, man. I'm sure we're gonna touch on this upcoming Wednesday, 8:30 Central. I'll holler.